Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. All right. Just getting all situated here. Got a really cool Hellraiser piece that I found. That is female pinhead. Being that it's now October, my favorite time of year. I love Halloween as well. Love horror. Figured we'd do something fun. Jump right in and do a Hellraiser. All right, and for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a bit of a breakdown here of how I usually set up my layers. I usually have the background flats on a separate layer. Above that, I'll usually do a silhouette of the character. The reason why I do that is so I can select that layer and just select the entirety of the character in one click, rather than when you have a flats layer, you can go in and just select everything by color, which is great for fine tuning it when you're working on a specific, section or color. But that silhouette layer is really nice to have. Let's see here. Wifey, hello. All right, so the next layer, we're going to go ahead and make that our multiply layer. This can be our layer. I like to work with subtractive rendering style, to where I color everything in with my shadows, and then I carve those shadows away to reveal the light. Am I coming through just fine? Can you hear me okay? Make sure we're labeling that layer there. All right, for our shadows, let's go with a blue color today. So I'm just gonna grab that silhouette, then move up to my shadow layer, hit fill, and it's just gonna fill in everything. Also on this stream, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be reviewing a Kickstarter campaign here, um, by writer Matthew Kreke. It's called Night Slayers #1. It's a supernatural mystery comic. I cannot talk today. And we're going to check out that Kickstarter campaign, see what that's all about, watch the trailer, and maybe have a little conversation about it and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and jump right on in on this. So typically when I'm rendering, I take a look at certain things. Did the line artist indicate to me or indicate a light source, like a direction? And what I can tell is that we have shadows over here, over here. So it looks like to me the light source, or at least primary light source, is left hand, and Maybe up, maybe not even up, maybe just like directly left. No, we got a little shadow here on the underneath side of the boob. So we'll say upper left. So I think that's how we're going to approach this. A couple words of advice here is anytime you create a new layer, make sure you label it. Make sure you label your layers, that way you know exactly what you're working with. When you have to go back and reference them, you know where things are. Once I select a shadow color, I usually take it and I create a layer on the top. And I title it palette. And that's where I will drop that color. That way, if I lose that color, I don't have to go into like color history and try and locate it. I can just simply come up here and just reselect that color. All right. So let's go ahead and go back to our shadow layer here. We're just going to start carving away. Carving away some light source. I like to use a soft round brush. That way I can get some nice control over gradients. As I'm taking away, meaning as I'm subtracting the shadow, sometimes I'll come back in with that shadow color and just smooth out some of those gradients. Another thing I'll do is I'll come over and grab the blending tool, and I'll come in and start blending some of those transitional lines as well to get a nice smooth gradient. And that's all just depending on what style you're typically going for. Sometimes having some nice choppy gradients is cool for textures. Sometimes it's not preferred. It's just depends on what you're going for. A lot of the time I won't spend time like I'm doing on this one where I'm like doing a little section and then refining it, doing a section and refining it. A lot of time I'll actually just go through and I'll just rough in where all the light source is, and then I'll come through and do a more refined pass. But just didn't feel like doing that today. I'm hoping to move a little quicker today too, since we're also going to be doing a review on a Kickstarter campaign. You know, I'm usually working on a bit of a time crunch when I'm doing these live renderings, because I try to get them all completed within 2 hours. I'm usually pretty good at it, pretty good about it. But since we're also going to be looking at that campaign, I just want to make sure that I get as far on this as I can. I'm coming through and just hitting a little bit of shadow on one of the edges of these things. Taking the time to go in and do that, it might not seem like a lot or it might not seem worth it, but people notice. They might not know they notice, but subconsciously they know. It just looks better. And the brain picks up on that stuff. That blending tool again and just smoothing out those transitions. When you're using the blending tool, typically the color that you start in is the color that it's going to drag and blend into the other color. So I'm starting in the shadow and pulling the shadows into the light. Now this leg is back behind the other one, but I'm going to hit it just a little bit. There's likely to be some ambient light, maybe a little bounce light coming off of the other leg. So we're not going to hit hard, we're just going to just give it a little bit. We'll call that good for there. For now. For now. The suit is interesting since it's all leathery vinyl, typical Hellraiser stuff. So we'll go through and on our highlights layer when we get there, we'll try and make sure to go a little heavy on the highlights on that just to really show its shine. We'll move on to these hands here. Are you asking me how I'm doing? I'm doing great. How are you doing? It is a quiet chat today. It's normally pretty quiet around here. Not everyone has an interest in color work. I get that. I get that. It's a pretty niche thing. We'll start carving in on the face, I think. Carving in on the face. Definitely sounds like a phrase that suits this character and the Cenobites in general. Let's see. I'm listening in the car and it's so silent. Yep. I mean, that's on me. I'm not consistent with my streams. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, that's why I used to have background music, but it would get flagged every now and again, even though it was my own music. And I get tired of petitioning it or trying to get it back and all that stuff. So, fortunately, there's no music anymore. But what you gonna do? Damn the man. There we go. I think doing that little bit of the neck there helped tie that in a little better. We're cruising. Let's go ahead and jump onto that hair. So for the hair, I have some custom brushes that I really like to use. It helps save a lot of time. This brush here, it's hair soft, but it lets me go in and just quickly block out where I want, like the big highlights, the big shapes of the hair, which is nice. And then I'll come through with hair thin, and that's where I'll really start getting some of that, those strands of hair. It's nice doing it this way. It saves so much more time than having to go in and do it all line by line by line by line. We'll get to something like that, and then I'll usually come back in and do another pass with the soft hair, but with shadow, just to tamp down some of the parts that I may have gotten a little too heavy-handed with, or if I need to push anything back, or maybe it's an underlayer that needs to be a little softer. I think I like where this is headed. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we're cruising. Did all that in a half hour. Brighten up this hand a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to come in and we're going to do a second layer of shadows. We can really kind of darken things up in certain places. We don't always do a second layer of shadows, but Sometimes it really just adds that extra depth and dimensionality. Framing side of her face here just a little bit. Just give it a little bit more contrast push. Framing everything a little bit. Let's see, shadows. Two. Let's do background shadows on this one. Just want to make sure I'm dropping a little bit of shadow before I forget. Now I think her hair, it looks fine, but I think it's still too bright in some places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back into her hair We're gonna go on that shadow layer, and I'm gonna grab the thin hair brush with the shadow color. Just gonna swipe in a few more darker strands of hair, because the way hair is, I mean, hair's layered, it's stacked on top of each other. There we go. I think that's looking a little better. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and just move on to the background. Dropped in some shadows there. Let me come in and add some texture to this stone. I like that. Just carving away a few select spots where the stone might be jutting out a little bit, and maybe that light is catching a few little spots, little subtleties. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. again under the arm. Like it. Let's see, where are we at on time? 8:13. Okay, cool. Paint these hooks. Just blast some quick little highlights in here. I want to be sure when we got to do our actual highlights layer to give these a little extra love, little extra attention, just to make them look a little shiny, a little more shiny, a little more metallic. We got time. And of course we have the infamous Lament Cube, the puzzle box. We'll make that all shiny and gold once we get there as well. All right. So what we'll end up doing next is we'll end up doing our highlights, and then we'll go in and do some effects, some highlights and some effects. That'll kind of be it. There's a couple other things that I wanted to do on the hands here, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Every now and again in the Hellraiser movies, Pinhead has this like grimy and or bloody like gradient at his fingertips. I've always kind of liked that. Just adds a little something. It's just a little different. Yeah, I think we'll just do that and leave it there. All right, perfect. So we're going to take a quick 5 minutes, and then when I come back, we're going to go ahead and delve into the Night Slayers campaign on Kickstarter. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to watch the trailer. If anyone wants to talk about it, we'll talk about it. We'll have a little Discord. And then we'll come back and finish up this Hellraiser piece. So we'll see you in about 5 minutes or so. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are back, and now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this Kickstarter campaign here. This is the Night Slayers #1, the supernatural mystery monster of the week urban fantasy comic for fans of supernatural and grim. I'm sure that's referencing the TV shows. In my understanding, this is a modern retelling of the Rumpelstiltskin story, set in more of like a detective setting kind of thing. Let's go ahead and we are going to kick on the trailer and we'll give that a watch.
When a child vanishes, the skeptical Officer Stone forms an uneasy alliance with paranormal investigators at the request of the only witness. Can the Night Slayers solve the mystery before midnight? Coming soon to Kickstarter, The Night Slayers.
Hi, I'm Matthew Kreke. Some of you may know me as the author of Beacon, the hero of Heartland, YA superhero novella. Today I'd like to talk to you about my new project, The Night Slayers. The Night Slayers will be a monster of the week, supernatural mystery comic for teens and adults. If you like supernatural or grim, you'll probably want to stay tuned. Each issue of The Night Slayers centers around paranormal investigators Carl Vincent and Emily Niles facing a new paranormal threat inspired by a famous fairy tale. In our debut issue, based loosely on my favorite fairy tale, Rumpelstiltskin, the Night Slayers and a skeptical police officer forge an uneasy alliance in hopes of finding a missing child. So, let me confess something. I have done this Kickstarter before, twice. It wasn't until after they both failed that I was informed the art I had commissioned wasn't of the quality the fans expected. So I hired a new art team. This team has completed 10 of the 20 pages that make up issue 1. I've also written a script for a sequel based on The Little Mermaid. So, what do you get for backing? If you pledge at least $5, you get a PDF of the comic. You can also pledge $10 for a print copy, or if you're watching this video within the first 24 hours of the campaign, you can get a discount on the print copy. We also have some other tiers and add-ons like a limited edition trading card set or a signed poster, and a few stretch goals that will be revealed if we reach them. Thank you for considering the Night Slayers. Goodbye.
Okay. So, yeah, I think the initial trailer was fine. It was good. It was very quick. I liked the voiceover work. That was great. Um, yeah, I didn't expect him to hop on, but it sounded like he had some things to say. I didn't know that he had tried to back this a couple of times. It sounded like, and it sounded like the art quality wasn't there. So it's good to see that he's pivoted and hired a higher quality art team. That's fantastic to hear. Now it looks like currently he's got 45 days to go. He's at $262 of his $1,000 goal. So he hasn't quite reached that goal yet. I'll make sure to go ahead and back that. I'm not signed in currently, but I'll back him. It sounds interesting. You got to support your indie brothers, right? Well, let's go ahead and take a look here and see what the campaign's got. He gave us pretty much a breakdown of what the reward tiers looks like. But let's take a look and see what we have here. The Story. 20-page Monster of the Week Supernatural Mystery comic book written by Matthew Kreke. For fans of Supernatural and Grim, part of that edition is a loose retelling of the writer's favorite fairy tale, Rumpelstiltskin. Okay. When a child vanishes, a skeptical officer, Stone, forges an uneasy alliance with two paranormal investigators at the demand of the only witness. Can the Night Slayer solve the mystery before midnight? Okay. That's an interesting spin on the Rumpelstiltskin tale. Preview: no AI was involved in the making of this comic. There's the creative team that worked on this book. Oh, perfect. We got some preview pages here. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's I would say, a more stylized, minimalist approach, which is perfectly fine. I think this looks good. Page 2. Cool. It looks like, yeah, going with more of a, looks like, cell shaded style, which is fine. It gives it like an old school throwback kind of feel. Like back when everything was working on print press, you had to be have a more minimalistic and targeted approach. It looks like we just kind of got some talking head scenes here for the first few pages. Later. Okay, so we have some talking head scenes, and then we go flash forward to a little bit later, some more talking head stuff. So this looks like it's very, very story driven, not leaning necessarily on like the action or anything. So I imagine, since it's going to be more like a detective story, it's real story driven, which is fine. It's great. You got some. I really like this panel here at the bottom. That's a pretty striking image. And then it started a decade ago when I was 15. Okay, so this is a flashback sequence. Perfect. Like to see it. It's something that I would do. Something I have done. Changing the tone of the scene completely to indicate that you're in a different time, a different place. Looks like they did kind of like a pink wash over everything, which is kind of nice. Cool. I'm here for it. So our rewards tiers. So like he said, $5 for a PDF of the Night Slayers, $10 for a physical copy, $20 for a signed copy. Personally, I'm not a fan of upselling for a signature, or if you are, you're doubling the price for a signature here on your debut book. Hopefully you get lots of signed copies, man. And then we jump to $100, so we get a custom card, physical copy, and a PDF copy. Your favorite monster here. Okay, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. I wonder if he has some more information over on the actual tier stuff. Physical copy. Our artist draw you a custom trading card featuring your favorite mythical monster. Okay, so the artist is going to go do a custom trading card for you. That's kind of cool. $120 deluxe package, custom card, signed comic, PDF, and a trading card pack. Okay, so he's got some trading cards of the main characters of the series, which is pretty cool. It does not come with the poster. Okay. Then there's some additional add-ons, so you can get the trading cards themselves for $5, extra physical copy for 10, signed poster for 10. Hold on, does that math? The deluxe package. Oh, I see. Okay, because you do get the custom trading card there, and that was $100 by itself. Okay, I was wondering how that math worked out. $20 for an extra signed copy. Okay. So no discount for additional copies, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. A poster looks like it is the cover of the book, just blown up to poster size, I would imagine. Then we have some stretch goals. $2,000 is the first stretch goal. Unlock for an extra trading card to all who ordered a trading card pack. So it's a stretch goal, but only applies to anyone who got the trading card pack. 3,000. Unlock a poster of a famous mystery cryptid by our art team to all physical backers. Okay. 4,000. Unlock a preview poster for the next issue's monster. Okay. $8,000. Unlock an 8-page Slayer's Guide to Monsters Handbook. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Those stretch goals seem to be pretty far spread out monetarily, but that's okay. That's okay. Risks and challenges. The first issue was illustrated before, but not to the quality the audience expected. We now have a new team and have already drawn 50% of the new comic. The script for issues 1 and 2 have already been completed. We just need your support to make this story shine. All right. So once again, that is the Night Slayers #1, a Monster of the Week urban fantasy comic. That is a modern retelling of Rumpelstiltskin from the perspective of 2 paranormal investigators. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Everybody, go check it out. Go back it. I'm sure he'd like your support. If you have questions, feel free to hit him up. Hit up Matthew. Let's go ahead and jump back in to the art. So here we are. We are back with the female Pinhead. So far, we've done most of the rendering. We're going to move on to doing the highlights and some effects, stuff like that. We got about 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and see. We'll call that our texture layer. No, I think record time lapse. Yeah, I think I'm recording the time lapse. Perfect. That would have sucked if I would have forgot. It means a lot more editing for me. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to go ahead and change that to a hard light layer. Let's go ahead and mess around with like a red light. See what that looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. We're going to select everything. And then we're going to go in, hold Control, hold Alt, and we're going to click on all of our individual shadow layers. That's going to deselect those layers so we can drop in our highlights. I have no idea if I'm going to stick with this highlight color or not. We need to hit up that. Remove that background layer there. Oh, shoot. Of course, Frankie, of course. Why'd you do that? There we go. Let's see. What do we think about red? I'm on the fence. I don't know what I think about it. Let's just stick with it for the time being. We're going to create another layer. We're going to change this layer mode to glow. We're going to keep that same red color. I'm going to drop that on my palette layer before I forget. We can always change this later. We're going to go in and add a few additional highlights. You kind of like the red? Cool. I kind of like the red. I think we're just gonna roll with the red for now and see what happens. Looking good. What's up, Jason? Just going through on that highlight layer, just adding a couple more highlights into the hair here. Start to add that additional shine to all of our vinyl areas just to really sell that shininess. Shiny, shiny, shiny. What happened there? Whole section didn't get highlighted. That's not good. There we go. Things are looking shiny now. Almost want, let's go ahead. I'm gonna lock in the pixels on that. That way I can go in and just change color. Something a little brighter. There we go. I think that works a little better. Okay. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let's jump back over to that puzzle box. Let's do another glow layer. We're just going to put this on top of the line art. Don't like it. Don't like that. We're not going to do that. I was just kidding. Go in and we're just going to manually make it shiny. We're not going to spend all day doing this or anything. Hey there, buddy. I just gave you a couple shout outs on my live stream I just did tonight. Oh, hey, Justin. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by, dude. It is super quiet around here tonight on this stream, but I'm glad you popped by. I think we'll do the puzzle box like that. We'll keep it simple. We will keep it simple. Yeah, I'm not consistent like I used to be with my live streams. I used to do it every week, but with doing my own book and staying on top of that, I just try and get in where I can. Let's take a look at I think it might be a little too distracting. But I like it, so we're going to leave it. I've decided I like it. All right, where are we at time-wise? Man, I still got a half hour. Jeesh. I think we kind of might be at a stopping point on this. I don't know. Give it a little bit of a gradient there. Why not? Why not? It's interesting. Do we darken the shadows up a little bit? Don't know. I did just notice that her eyebrows. I want to start live streaming a lot more. I think it's only the third or fourth time I've ever done it. Yeah, yeah, live streaming is fun. You definitely will start to learn how to talk to yourself. We do. No, don't like that. Don't like that. I do need to add some brighter highlights to the metallics here. I'm a pro at talking to myself anyway, so at least I've got that going for me. Yeah, I think once I'm done with these chains here in a second, we may be done with this. Then we can take a look at maybe a little sneak peek on some of the next issue of Hellstones. Show you a couple pages that I have of that. Yeah, yeah. I think we will do that. I think we'll do that. Let's save this so I don't forget. And I'll show you guys some of Hellstones. I'm already a few pages into production. Oh, I've got to stick around for some of your stuff, your comic book stuff. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I'm a few pages into production on the next book already, which is fantastic. We're moving quickly on that. Let's take a look at some pages from Hellstone's book one, Into the Fray. So this is one of the opening pages that we have for Hellstone's Into the Fray. So at the end of the prologue book, we see Sam hitting the streets, getting ready to go out and go look for her mentor, Gary. And this book opens up with this scene, her just running through the jungles of Brazil, being hunted down and searched for by some mercenaries. This definitely jumps way more into the action side of things, whereas the prologue didn't have much in the way of action. I mean, it was just a way to ease you into the story and get you familiar with the setting. But this one jumps straight into the action, and then a couple pages in, we'll have a little bit of a flashback, kind of to the prologue, kind of her recapping how she got here. But I will tell you what, guys, I was kicking myself. I'm still kind of kicking myself because I wrote this. I didn't have to set this in a jungle in Brazil, but I did, not thinking about all of the trees and plants and leaves that I'm going to have to flat and then color and render. Wow, you want to talk about tedious, boring stuff. Every one of these leaves has to be touched by my hand multiple times before it gets to this final stage. And I was kicking myself. Luckily, I found a rhythm that works for me. So doing the next page after this didn't feel as painstaking. But let's go ahead and I'll show you the next page too. Why not? And this is the subsequent page. So that's page 2, her running through the jungles, and then page 3 is her, hiding from these mercenaries. And then noticing a way out, a dark path or a hidden path. Justin, oh wow, yeah, I wouldn't have even thought about that. Get her out of the jungle as soon as possible. I know, I know. But yeah, she's, it's a cat and mouse game. These mercenaries searching for her in the jungle here. She seems to find a way out and finds a spot to rest and catch her breath. And then that's where we go into the flashback to how she got here. This book, unlike the prologue is only 12 pages. This is going to be a full 24-page book. So it's going to have a lot of content in this story here, which is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, the storyboarding is all done. I'm just sending everything over to my line artist in a slow trickle, and then as those come back, I'm doing all the coloring and rendering, and then I'll go in and do all the lettering. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the lettering myself on this book like I did with the last one. I do have a letter in mind that I'm thinking about hitting up. I think it would be a good collaboration opportunity. I mean, I'll pay him for his work, so it's, you know, still commission based, I guess, but it'd be a good collaboration. He has a pretty good following, and if I can get him on board, maybe we can share that follower count and spread the word about this next book. But I'm pretty stoked on how it's coming along. Like I said, it was painstaking figuring out how I was going to do the jungle and the leaves and all of that stuff. But I think I found a method that works for me that isn't so ridiculously tedious. Then let's see. Do I have? Yeah, I'm in progress. I'll show you some more. So this is the page. So page 3. This is page 4. This is the actual flashback. This is a work in progress. Dang, that's a lot of work, but it's looking pretty sweet. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, it is a lot of work. And then this is the flashback. So this is when she's in the hideout that she's in the prologue. So a lot of the backdrop should look a little familiar and stuff like that. And this is her prepping to go out on this adventure. This, I really like this panel down here, the 4th panel. That is her getting ready to step onto the street to start this adventure, and it harkens back to the final page of the prologue, which is really cool. Little tie-in that we did. I'm gonna bring up that last page. So the last page of the prologue series is this page. So we have that last panel there mimicking the moment before this scene here, which is the last page of the prologue. So a cool little little tie-in there on how I did that, which I'm pretty stoked on. I think it's really cool. Just a cool little tie-in. It's one of those almost Easter egg type things that you wouldn't know unless you had a copy of the prologue or, you know, watched this video that we're literally making right now. But just a cool little thing. And there's a lot going on. Since we still need to kill some time, I think we're gonna end this stream a little early tonight, but I'll go ahead and show you the pencils for the next page as well. Why not? So this will be page, I don't know what page is, page 5. Yeah. So this is the pencils for the page that comes after this one. And she's just having some flashback moments about her mentor, and we start to get a glimpse into their relationship and how long he's been around, what he means to her, and why this is important, and what the risk is, and why things are as high stakes as they are to her. Justin, dude, that's so cool. Keep up the great work. Like I said, let's connect soon. Have a great night. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. Let's definitely connect soon. Hit me up when you have some time, man. I'm definitely down. Definitely down. Take care. So yeah, that's the first 4 pages of Hellstones Into the Fray. It's well underway. We're cruising. Follow me on all my social medias. I'm going to be sharing some more of this stuff as time goes on. Give you some glimpses into the process. I'll continue to do some live streams here and there so you can watch the process, or maybe even ask questions about the comic book making process or the color rendering process. Lots going on. Keeping busy, for sure. Keeping busy. And then again, tonight we also took a look at Matthew Kreke's book, The Night Slayers #1. We took a look at the campaign here. It seems like an interesting story. I hope it gets backed. He seems to really take to heart the criticisms that he received early on when he tried to kickstart this campaign, and has pivoted and done the right thing and got higher quality artists and creative team to back him on this. And it looks good. It looks good. It's only $10 to get your copy to back this. So go check it out. Go check it out, gang. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, but we'll get back at it. We'll see if we can do more than once a month, like I've been doing. All right, well, take care, and we'll catch you next time.